Dvoch. Today we're learning Bobe Basra Daf Mem. We're going to start Daf Lametes on base, the last line. Omar Rava, Omar Rav Nachman. Mecha b'fnei shnayim. When someone does a mecha about someone who's sitting in his property, he has to do it in front of two people. Daf Mem Amud Aleph. Ve'ein tzarich lo yimar ksoivu. If you did a mecha in front of two people, those two people could write down that this person did the mecha, because it's in Zochim Lod, and we do a schus for him to write it down. It's more strong that it's written down. Moido, if there's someone tells to Eidim, you know, this deal I'm doing, I'm forced into doing it, and it's not really, I don't want to do it, and I'm forced doing it. So in front of how many people does he have to tell to cancel the deal? B'fnei shnayim, you need to Eidim. Ve'en tzarich lo yimar ksoivu. He doesn't need to tell them to write it down. They can write it down straight away without him telling them to write it down and saying that this is not a real good deal because he was forced to do it. Hoido, if someone admits I owe someone money, b'fnei shnayim, if he admits before two, it's like a eider say it's a dos baldin that he has to pay. The tzarich lo yimar ksoivu, they shouldn't write it down if he doesn't tell them, because if he writes it down, it becomes a stronger than just oido bal peh, and therefore if he doesn't tell them, they shouldn't do it. Kinyan b'fnei shnayim. Someone does a kinyan, he's mezaket to someone, let's say with a soda, so he needs two eidim to see it. Ve'ein tzarich lo yimar ksoivu, he doesn't need to tell them to write it down, but because he's willing, he's makner it, so they could write it down. I'm going to see the Gemara is going to discuss. The kiyum shtarish b'shloisha. If someone has a shtar and he wants to mikayim to say that it's a good shtar to bring the eidim to Bezdin to say that they signed on the shtar because maybe he's scared they're going to die or go somewhere else and it'll be hard for him to mikayim the shtar, you need three people, a Bezdin, to paskin that this is a good shtar, and once they write down at the bottom that we were sitting here and the eidim came, we know that this is a good shtar. Omar Rava, ikashili. If I had a kasha from all the things that Rav Nachman told me, ho kashili. This I had a kasha on one of the things that Rav Nachman said. A high kinyan, this kinyan that we're talking about, echi dome, domi. What are we talking about? Ike maise bezdin domi. If it's like a maise bezdin, that it's like we need a dayanim liboit lo, so you should need three. Ilau ke maise bezdin. If it's not maise bezdin, and it's enough too. Why do you not need to write about it? Why do you not need to tell him that the Aiden could write it straight away? If it's a Maisa Bezdin, okay, so we understand the Aiden could write it because Bezdin Paskin, but if it's not Bezdin, it's just the Eidus. L'chorah should tell them to write it down. If he doesn't want them to write it down, they shouldn't write it down. Why could they write it down straight away? Also, the boy who says Rava, he asked this kasha, other pashta he understood. Really, it's only a kinyan, and it's not kemaise bezdin domi. Time in my day, do you know why you don't need to tell them ksoivu? They could write on their own behalf. Mishum the stam kinyan neksivoimed. If someone's makne something to someone, and he's behind yofa, he's makne because he's makne it already now. It doesn't give it the actual item. If you gave it the actual item, you don't need. It's by the other person. It's almost way he's doing a suda or something. He's doing Bain Yofa. He wants to be koine already now, so he's giving it Bain Yofa. So it's as if he said, write it down for him that it's his. And that's why I don't need to say ksoivu. Rabba v'Rav Yosef, the Amru Tarvayu, they both say, Loi kasvinu moido, elo aman de loi tzais dina. So we spoke about moido. The Reuven comes and says, you know, I'm selling this item to Shimon. Shimon's forcing me to sell it. I don't have no choice. And he comes to tell that to Eidim, and therefore he cancels the deal with Shimon. So Rabbi and Rabbi Yosef says you only do this if Shimon is someone who doesn't listen to Bezdin. Because if Shimon listens to Bezdin, why are you writing on my door? Take him to Bezdin to tell Bezdin that Shimon's forcing you into a deal. And he's going to listen to Bezdin. Bezdin will tell him you're not allowed to do that. So you only could write on my door to someone who doesn't listen to Bezdin. Abaye v'Rava, they argue, the Amrit Abaye, they both say, Afilu alai v'olecho, even on people like Abaye and Rava who listen to Bezdin, you could still write to Moido, because a person could taina that, you know, I didn't go to Bezdin because Bezdin were busy, wasn't the opening hours now. I don't know, they have a queue over there. I wanted to make sure that this kinyan won't be chal because this guy is forcing me into it, and therefore on any person you could write to Moido. Said the Gemara, Amri Naradoy, the Talmidei Chacham Naradoy said, Kol Moido, any type of Moido, the lo iksiv bo. It doesn't say in the Moido, Anon Yadinan, that the Eidim write, we know, Ba'oinso, the plania, we know that he was forced into this deal, Lav Moidoi. It's not considered a good Moido. Said the Gemara, what are we talking about? What is he saying? What type of kinyan is this person doing that he's saying that he's forced into? Idigito de matanta, if he's giving a get or matona, gilui milsa ba'almi. Why do we need them to know that he was forced into it? A get a person gives on his own behalf. A matana is giving on his own behalf. So why is he doing it? If he's coming and saying that he's forced into it, obviously he's forced into it, because if he wasn't forced into it, he just wouldn't give the present. He would solve the issue, right? He doesn't need to give the present. He doesn't need to give the get. And if he's doing it and he's giving him a dog, we could believe him that he's forced into it. So why is it not good? If it's of a sale, Rova says you don't write a moido on a sale, so it can't be talking about on a sale. Says the Gemara, it is talking about a sale. Moidirova Echedonis, in a case where he's forced to kamaisa the paradise, like in the case of the orchard. What's the case? Da'u Gavra, this person, the Mashkin Paradise Lechavre, Letlashonim, he took a loan, and for the loan he gave his orchard to the person to eat from it for 3 years, and that will pay off the loan. After the malva ate from the paradise. Klashoni, 3 years chazaka, that's chazaka Omar. So he told Loiva, Imas benisli, if you're going to sell it to me now, Meta, very good. V'iloi, if you're not going to sell it to me, kavshina l'shtar mashkanta, I'm going to hide the mashkin, the shtar that says that it's a mashkin. And I'm going to say I bought it, and I have a chazaka, and you never did the machal, so I could get it away for free. So you have 2 choices: or I'm going to steal off you, or I'm forcing you to buy off me. So in such a case, Kai Gavna, Kasvina Moidor, Rav admits that you do write on Moidor on Mechira, and that's the case. So we're saying that if the Edim don't know that he was forced, they never heard that this guy threatened to say that I'm going to steal off you, so you don't write on Moidor. Omar of Yuda, I matanta tamirta, this matana that a person gives hiddenly. Loi magbina, no, we don't go after this matana. We don't say that this matana is chal. Says the Gemara, Eichidomi matanta tmira. What's the case if someone's giving a present secretly? Omar of Yosef, the Omar Lulu Sahade, he told the Edim who are signing on this present, Zilu atmur v'kosvule. I'm giving this present to Reuven, but write this star hiddenly. So if we know that he told them to write the star hiddenly, it shows something strong over here, and therefore it's not good matana. And some people say, Omar of Yosef, if he never told Edim, go write it in the shuk, go write it outside the star that I'm giving a present to Reuven, so we take on that this present wasn't a good present. Why was he not happy for them to go into the shuk? What's the nafgemina la'alocha between these 2 lashonis of Rav Yosef? If he just said write it and he didn't say hide or anything, so if he first pshat matana temirta, a hidden present, means we clearly told him to hide. So if he never clearly told him to hide, he just told him write a star, but he never told him do it in public or not, so that's a good matana. He didn't tell him to hide. But if he's the other girl, so that's only a good matana if he told them write it publicly. So he ain't never told them write it publicly, so it's not a good matana. Omar Rava, v'avo moido lechaverta. If you gave a matana in a secret, that we said it's not a good matana, and then he gave the same item to a present to someone else, so also to someone else, this is not good present. For both of them, it's not good present. It says Omar Papa, Hodu Rava, this dinner of Papa, la beferishit. My Rava never said it clearly straight out. Elo michlole itma was learned from a story. Da'u Gavra, that person, the Ozalik Dusha Isisa, he went to give Kiddushin to a woman. Omrele, she told him, Ikosvili, if you write me, Kulu nechosecho, all your possessions, you write that you can give me them as a present, Avineloch, I'll be your wife. I'll get married to you. V'ilo, if you don't write it, lo yavineloch, I'm not going to get married to you. Ozal kasvelo, he ran to write it to her. Lekulu nichse, to all his nechosim to give her the present. Osa break Ashisha, his older son, came to him. Omaleva, Gavra might have ale. He said, he spoke by himself, a third person. What's going to be with me? You're giving all your nechosim to your new wife, and I'm going to, after your Mev Esrim, I'm going to be left with nothing. Omalu l'saade, so you told Edim, Zilu atmur, go hide, be'avar yemina, over there, v'kosvule, and write all the nechosim should go to him. And then So he wrote a hidden nechosim to his son, and to his wife, to his new wife, he wrote everything as well. Also, like Rava, this case came in front of Rava. Omalu loy markono, loy markono. Not the woman was koina, not the son was koina. So man, the chaza, the one who saw this case, that if you give a present in a secret and afterwards you give this present to someone else, they both nochal. So the Gemara of a lawyer, it's not true. Because Hossam over there, Mucha Chamil said the Machmas unsa the Kosav law. Why did he give it to the woman? Because she forced him. She said, I'm not going to marry you if you're not going to give it to me. So then we say, oh, to the son it's not chal because it's a hidden present. To the woman it's not chal because he was forced into it. Aval Hocha, in a normal case where Reuven gave Shimon a present secretly and then he gave the same item to Levi, Mar Nichele Delikne. Maybe he wants Levi to be koina, Mar Loi Nichele Delikne, and to Shimon he doesn't want to be koina. So Enochanami doesn't want Shimon to be koina, but Levi, why should we take on that? He doesn't want to give him a proper present. So Levi's present was without hidden. Didn't tell the Eidim to hide, so therefore the Matanas chal. Iboilu, said the Gemara Shaila, what's the din? Memalef or Modalef, Stome Mai. In the case, so we had two Lashonis of Rabbi Yosef. So we said the difference between the Lashonis of Rabbi Yosef is if he told Eidim to write the star, but he didn't tell them to hide, but on the other hand, he didn't tell them to go do it in public. What's the din? Ravim Naoma loy chashinan with no choishes it's considered a hidden matona. Rav Ashi Oma chashinan we are choishes it's a hidden matona. Bilchas chashinan and the halacha is that we are choishes that even if it said stam and didn't say do it in publicly, that it's not good matona and it's a hidden matona and therefore the matona is not chal. Everyone should have a blessed week with lots of b'seres tovos. Hashem should be shoyim klal Yisrael and we should be zoichet to do shalom between ourselves in our houses and with our wives, with our kids, with our families, and then with the wider community and with the whole Klal Yisrael. And once we have Shalom, the whole Klal Yisrael, no one could win us. We should have lots of blessings of Ve'itenecha. Good vach, good vach.